Hey dudes, welcome to Splat from the Past, the only 80s themed horror and sci-fi show where things can get totally radical. Now, today is a very special and unique episode because this Saturday is my favorite holiday that nobody knows, National Bellybutton Day. And this lady I have on today, she is a expert on the belly button and has a very zen like philosophy on it, and she specializes in belly button healing with this this thing. Forgive me, Jen, if I don't have the name right at the moment. It's kind of like a belly button shake weight thing to have a spiritual unwind with, and stuff. And so I'm so sorry. I'm just waking up. I'm just waking up right now, and um, I'm gonna have her on the show today to discuss it. And I'm pretty excited about it. Her name is Jen Angeli, and we're gonna be talking to her all the way from Hawaii. Aloha. So yeah, this is my interview with Jen Angeli.
Hello?
Hey Jen, welcome to the show.
Hey, hi.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Oh, I am just spectacular. It's such an honor. Thank you for taking the time today.
Oh, my pleasure.
So,
Aloha from Hawaii.
yep, all the way from Hawaii. Aloha.
Aloha.
Yeah, my stepmom is Tongan, so like we use a lot of those phrases around the house and stuff.
Always good to spread aloha.
Absolutely, I agree. It's one of the places that I've always wanted to go to. I haven't been able to yet, but I plan to eventually. My uncle lived there for 5 years.
Excellent. Well, just start picturing yourself here and you'll get here.
Absolutely. So, if you can remember far back, what was your first reaction to your belly button?
To my personal belly button,
Yeah.
well, it's interesting because my feelings back then compared to how I am now,
Hmm.
100% different. Before I used to hate my belly button. I have a really deep innie, and it always looked kind of strange to me. I never understood. I mean, obviously, aside from being our life source or our food source from, before birth,
Right.
beyond that, I never understood all the magical qualities of it as I got older. I just thought it was kind of just odd looking. Now I see it as like an amazing gateway to health, basically.
Yeah. Is it like strangely shaped?
Yeah, I actually I had a deep innie, and then I had to have some surgeries for some pre-cancer stuff. And so
Oh.
every time that they went in, they would go through my belly button to do laparoscopy and do other things. So each time they would sew it up. So it ended up kind of, I think they fixed it at one point. It kind of ended up kind of strange for a little while, and then it kind of evened out, but it's still pretty deep.
Yeah, I had the same thing. I had I had several surgeries. I had a car accident a couple of years ago, and they had to go in me quite a bit number of times while I was in a coma, and I
Um,
uh, I had to wear a band. I had to wear this bandage and like have it changed every day for like half a year until they took my gallbladder out, and my belly button was kind of buried during that time because of the way the surgery came out. But they basically uh, re, repaired it pretty much after my gallbladder surgery, and now it's an innie. It used to be an Audi, but it's an innie now. Yeah,
augmentation score.
yeah. And it actually inspired one of my horror stories I wrote, and that's a good thing that came out of it.
Anytime anytime you get inspiration, or no matter what it comes from, it's always a good thing.
I agree. I agree. So, where did you grow up?
Here in Hawaii,
There in Hawaii.
and interesting because we have so many cultures here that really, so we have some Asian cultures that really um, discourage you from touching your belly button, from getting to know your belly button, anything like that regarding the belly button. They raise their kids or grandkids or whoever thinking that this is kind of a taboo spot. And then you have on the flip side other cultures where, like the Hawaiians, they're like, no, there's a lot of wisdom here. There's a lot of, the piko is what they call it in Hawaii, is the center part of your body. And, just like Hawaii, we have a piko on Kauai. It's kind of like the center part, they believe, of Earth's energy. So it's really interesting in my job when I'm doing and I'm sharing belly button healing with people, how you can see different cultures, and their attitude toward the belly button. It's very extreme. And then other people just think it's just kind of weird.
Oh yeah, I've had that experience over the years, especially in the Oriental cultures that I've met. They seem to be such prudes when it comes to the belly button, with the exception of this one Korean girl that I dated when I was in my late teens. She was the only one. She actually had a belly button fetish, as did I, and that's why we were together.
Ah. So the company that I work for that created this belly button tool is actually from Korea.
Really?
So the belly button tool is popular in Korea because they understand how there's just so much information there and just so much things you can access through your belly button in regards to pain relief, gut health, mental relaxation. There's a lot of things that can be accessed through the central point in your body.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's irony of irony there. So what did you initially want to be when you were growing up?
Um, a writer. So I did come out with my first book. It's at the Bishop Museum here in Hawaii and on Amazon. And a big part, it's interesting because prior to writing, or while I was writing the book, suffering from ADD that I've had all my life, depression, insomnia, lots of chronic pain in my neck, shoulders, back. I grew up with a lot of abuse, and so I had a lot of skeletal issues because of that. And coming to Hawaii, I was about a little bit halfway through my book when I first moved back to Hawaii, and I hit a point where both my parents died within 6 months, and I was just really struggling as far as just kind of resettling my life. And then this belly button tool came into my life, and I was kind of like, that's kind of weird. Mm-hmm. And at first, I was resistant to poking my belly button with this thing. I didn't understand it. I didn't understand the importance of it until I took this class that really not only talked about how the tool itself has a lot of energy, so it's helping you, but then really understanding the pressure points and all the, or acupressure points in your belly button and what they lead to, and, how to access the meridian channels, the energy flow in your body. And after I started doing that, and I started doing belly button healing, belly button therapy on myself, my insomnia improved. In fact, it's gone. Nice. I was able to get off all of my medication. I was on a lot of different things from my ADD, mood, depression, sleep, muscle relaxers, pain stuff. I'm off of all of that. And more importantly, the belly button tool, because it's directly stimulating your vagus nerve, which is that central nervous system that causes fight or flight. So most of us, if you press into your belly button and above it, kind of going up to your sternum, if you try doing that, press kind of deep, it feels a little tight or uncomfortable for most people if they're carrying a lot of tension. And so through massaging this with my belly button tool several times a day, doing the exercises around it, I not only was able to get off of all of my medication, including my ADD, but I was able to finish my novel. And
nice.
So I would have to say that just my belly button therapy that I did really helped improve my health. And here's an interesting point. So one of our members at the company I work for, Body and Brain, is the head of the psychiatric department for the Hawaii State Department of Health.
Mm-hmm.
And we did this study where we all wore heart monitors for about 6 months. Every day we would put it on first thing in the morning. We would take a baseline reading of 1 minute to just see where our heart rate is and where our heart rate variable is, which is the space between the beats. And you can measure, the longer your heart rate variable is, the younger your heart is, the younger your system is.
Right.
And so we were measuring the effects of belly button healing with your heart rate variables.
Mm-hmm.
And during the course of this time, every morning we wake up, take this baseline reading of 5 minutes, for 1 minute. Then we would take our tool, we do belly button healing, measuring that for 5 minutes. Then wait 5 minutes, and then recheck that 1 minute reading for your heart. And over this time, my heart rate variable increased.
Mm-hmm.
Which means that my heart grew younger through my belly button compression.
Wow. That is amazing.
And then on top of that, whenever you're doing that, it just naturally, because of the connection to the vagus nerve. So the vagus nerve goes from your abdomen, it goes all the way up your spinal cord into the base of your neck, which is kind of like the brain hub. So the brain comes down, the brain stem, it comes down into the brain stem, so it meets the brain stem. And when you can get that to relax, your whole body naturally balances. So through the belly button, you can relax that brain stem. So through the vagus nerve, when you soften that up, it sends relaxation messages to the brain. So just compressing your belly button several times a day and breathing, specifically, focusing on what you're doing and how you're feeling as you press your belly button, you can relax your brain and get rid of muscle tension.
Wow.
So I invite people to do it, even with your thumb, if you can stick your thumbs in your belly button and just start pressing. And when you start pressing different angles, like you press, towards your left hip or towards your right hip or down toward your feet or up toward your head, you'll notice that you have different pressure. And some parts will feel a little bit more tight and resistant under your fingers. Some parts will feel more maybe tender or painful, and then other parts will be okay. So each direction that you're pointing in connects to either major organs, like your heart, your lungs, kidneys, intestines, things like that, through your belly button.
Mm-hmm.
And then aside from, sending the messages to the brain. So you can do a whole body therapy just from the different angles of pressing into your belly button. Now, we created this tool because it's a little awkward to do it with your fingers. You can't really maintain this for a long time. So in about a minute, your fingers will get tired. If you can do belly button compression for 5 minutes and stimulating all these different points, especially if you can get to press down into your belly button in these different angles, at least an inch to 2 inches deep, you can stimulate also the relaxation and more energy into these parts of your body. So you can immediately get rid of or lessen neck tension, shoulder tension. You can increase the circulation to your legs and feet, which is really good for people who have diabetes.
Mm-hmm.
And overall, you can just improve your health through your belly button compression.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm pressing mine as we speak.
Yeah, so when you do this for 5 minutes, and you can press, deep and kind of blow out any tension, after 5 minutes of, especially if you can do it a little quicker, a little bit faster, after 5 minutes, you created enough, or about the equivalent of a 30-minute walk cardiovascularly for your body.
Huh. Yeah.
Your 35% of your blood, your body's blood, is housed several inches below your belly button. So we keep a pool of blood here that your heart circulates.
Mm-hmm.
And when this area gets cold or hard, you feel tired, you cannot think well, you feel achy. If your listeners will feel the back of their neck and then feel their belly simultaneously, with each hand,
mm-hmm.
the neck, if it's warmer, you have too much energy up there. You have too much circulation up in the brain, so it's harder to think, foggy thinking. You can get frustrated easily. You can get forgetful, absent-minded, where you put stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And just overall, you don't feel as good. Your body's having to work harder. If you can, through belly button compression, through massaging the lower abdomen, through heat, if you can just get that area warmer than your neck, then your body actually performs 5 times more efficiently. Mm-hmm. Because your blood flow, your energy is flowing through all of your meridian channels. So getting more energy and oxygen to the brain, getting more blood flow to the brain. So your belly button is actually the key to your health. If you can not only, love it because it's your connection to your mom, but also by stimulating it, by pressing it, by warming it, things like that, you're actually benefiting your body through increased blood flow and circulation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that tool is
How does it feel when you're pressing?
It feels pretty good.
So now try pressing like 2 inches below your belly button. Press that area deep, like go in 2 inches.
Mm-hmm.
Is that at first a little kind of resistant, a little tight?
Yeah, a little bit.
So when this area is tight, you might, prior to this, might not have felt like you were just at 100%. You might feel a little tired. When you can get this going, soften it up, then more of that blood flow will take place between that area of your belly button. Then naturally you'll start feeling more clear. You'll feel like you have a little bit more energy. So that's a little tip for your listeners, that if they want to feel, more awake, instead of reaching for that energy drink, just massage your belly button, your lower abdomen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's such a unique thing. The tool. It reminds me of kind of like a shake weight for belly buttons.
So the tool, first it's kind of like T-shaped, so it's ergonomic, so it's easier for you to hold. But what makes that so unique is the material that's inside of it. The outside plastic is the same as Lego bricks. So it's non-toxic. It doesn't harm the environment when they produce it. But the stuff that's inside is where all the magic is. It's a combination of it's all natural stuff from the earth: clay, mud, and crystals. But when you combine it into this form called deuterium, so you know how everything is energy, right? Everything in the world is energy. We are energy, plants are energy, animals. Everybody produces energy, emits an energy frequency.
Right.
So different things are frequent to different measurements. So like if you take a look at crystals, certain crystals are tuned at certain wavelengths. Mm-hmm. So that's become, they have they say if you want to open this part of your body, you wear this type of crystal. If you want to, whatever. So you use these crystals, or you use these elements to tune into a specific frequency.
Mm-hmm.
The way that they combined all these natural elements to make this thing called Hontorium, basically it's taking all these frequencies, combining them, and making it so it's 10th degree. So it covers all of the frequencies in the body,
Mm-hmm.
and then it affects you infrared. It penetrates your energy field. So when you're using the belly button tool, as opposed to like a stick, which is what I did when I first when I first learned about this, because I was like, I don't want to buy a belly button tool.
Yeah.
Using a wooden spoon, which is totally night and day difference as far as how you feel. But when you start using this specific belly button tool, you accelerate the healing process a lot faster because it opens up all your meridian channels, and so your energy starts tuning. And then you want to only use your belly button tool on yourself. You don't want to use it on other people because then it kind of crosses energies.
Oh.
So you don't want to pick up their energy, you don't want to give them your energy, you just want to keep that. And what was interesting is the work that I do, this is primarily what we focus on is energy.
Right.
And increasing energy. So we do something called aura readings, and we use a bioelectrical feedback machine that you put your hands on, and then it kind of like translates your energy field onto a screen on a computer. And from there, we can see the different colors of your aura, and we can interpret them based on, how it's affecting your thinking, how it's affecting your physical feeling, and so forth. And so, in December, when we were at the Honolulu Marathon, we were doing these belly button demonstrations with the aura machine. And normally, what we do when we do aura readings is we take somebody's aura.
Mm-hmm.
We give them their basic reading, and then we have them do belly button healing for 5 minutes. And then we come back, and we check their aura again. And you can see how the energy and the colors and everything just completely changes. One side of the aura reading checks the balance of your mind and your body and your spirit.
Right.
And most people, they're pretty, not balanced. The
Right.
brain is going one way, the body's doing something else, and they're not communicating. They cannot sleep at night, they cannot turn off their brain. And so when we do the belly button healing, just in those few minutes, they come back, and right away you can see the graph usually shows a big improvement, either complete balance or close to more balance than they were to begin with. But what was interesting was I had been doing these belly button demonstrations with my belly button, the heal tool. I use my own tool.
Mm-hmm.
And then for some reason or another, we got really busy. And so I was doing it with just the generic tool that we bring to all, the different tools that we bring to all these events.
Mm-hmm.
And so I did a couple of these with just whatever tool that was there. And then I went and I took my aura reading, my own aura reading. I was like, oh, that's weird. It doesn't look like my normal colors. It just, even though I was balanced in the chart, the colors were different.
Mm-hmm.
Like that, those don't feel like, they don't look like my normal colors. So I went and I took my belly button tool, stuck it in my Pico, and I literally went, and I just did a couple like compressions really fast.
Yeah.
And then I went and I put my hands on this machine, and right away, the colors were much brighter.
Mm-hmm.
There were a lot more colors, different colors. So that's just a testament to show how my belly button tool is charged to my energy. So that when my energy was, kind of low, I was able to take this thing and just instantly recharge my rebalance my energy,
Mm-hmm.
my energy field. So it's very interesting to see the combination of science along with this kind of metaphysical stuff, or it's actually ancient Eastern, medicine using acupressure and pressure points in the body.
Amazing. Wow. That is amazing. Yeah, it's the belly button's my favorite part of the body. and it always has been. I mean, I'm the kind of guy who, when I get to know a person for a while, I'll ask them if they have an innie or an outie, and if I can see it, it's my way of breaking the ice.
Well, if I recommend this to do it with your loved ones, people who are comfortable with. If you just put your hand on somebody's belly button and you just kind of massaged it, you just kind of massage and compress that area, kind of kneading it like you would, dough in that area at first. Normally people's abdomen is tight. And after about 5 minutes of massaging that area, the belly button, the area around it, you're just keeping your hands in the same place and just kneading it, it will relax their brain. It'll actually help them feel better. They'll feel more nurtured. They found that people who do belly button healing together as a family become closer because it stimulates a kind of nurturing stimuli in the brain. And then they found that kids who do belly button healing, at least with our study, the kids who are doing belly button healing, whether they're doing it on themselves or the parents, help them, it actually increases their confidence and it helps calm them down. So we have all kinds of testimonies on how just the belly button has helped, belly button therapy has helped everything from ADHD, ADD, to PTSD. We have veterans who use this to calm their brain and kind of help, get rid of that fight or flight sensation. And then we also have people, if you look on YouTube and you look at belly button healing tools or testimonies, you'll see a number of people who have used this to do everything from getting off dialysis to treating cancer to recovering from stroke and heart attack to getting off pain medication. I mean, it's truly a wonder that you have so much information that you're walking around with in your body and not accessing.
Mm-hmm.
So the belly button tool was designed to give you access to this intelligence that you're already carrying, this natural healing that you already possess, if you just, unlock it.
Yeah. What I love the most about the belly button, it's such a subjective body part. Like, some people consider it private, some people consider it non-private. What are your thoughts on that?
I think for myself, I'm already in my 50s, so I don't think I'm doing anybody a service by walking around shouting it to anyone. But I think it's just a personal preference. I think, there's probably more appropriate times to show your belly button. Like, not like at the beach or like just out on Hawaii, that's fine. Certain times you don't want to show your belly button at a funeral.
Yeah.
Maybe church, things like that. But I think it's just a complete personal preference. I think that if anybody has a healthy and happy relationship with their belly button, they overall are a little bit healthier and happier. And then taking that to the next level, if you can understand how beneficial your belly button is, that's even better. That you can really self-soothe. So you can take yourself out of feeling depressed, or you can take yourself out of feeling hopeless by connecting to that belly button, by massaging it, by kind of working out all the stiffness. People lose weight when they can create more circulation here. A lot of times we carry inflammation. So it's not necessarily weight you're carrying, it's just inflammation. So I've seen a lot of people who, start with our classes, and it's not like they're losing weight, but they just kind of become a little bit less round or less, puffy.
Mm-hmm.
So just anytime you can circulate energy through your body, it's a good thing. And that's the fastest way to do it, is through that belly button. I think the belly button's amazing. It's kind of funny how it was so taboo back in the 50s, where I Dream of Jeannie couldn't even show it on TV.
Yep. That's so true.
And then now, people are just walking around, midriff, whatever. People are piercing it. People are decorating it. I think it's great. I think it should be celebrated. I personally wouldn't want to get a belly button ring, just because I don't like to have to deal with, worrying about snagging on stuff, getting caught on anything. But if somebody, if they want to celebrate it, they want to decorate it, I think that's good. If it makes them feel empowered or makes them feel happier, that's a good thing. When we do belly button healing, sometimes the ring can kind of get in the way, but most people, they just kind of work around it and they're fine.
Mm-hmm. That's good. Yeah, it's also an erogenous zone, and because it's 6 inches, above the sex organs, so that's a good thing too. It's kind of funny though when you talk about the stimulation with the tool, though. I mean, does it also create that sexual arousal?
It's not so much the sexual arousal. What it does is it does stimulate more blood flow. Mm-hmm. So within that 2-inch space between your belly button and then the 2 inches below that, the 2 inches below your belly button is your second chakra, second energy point in your body. Your first energy point is in your perineum, which mm-hmm. is just that area in front of the anus. And when you can open up those two and connect them, you actually can achieve a greater satisfaction, greater arousal, greater satisfaction. And so by stimulating the area of the belly button, that 2 inches below it, doing some anal punching, mm-hmm. we recommend we tell people, like, when you're at a red light, either, just squeeze, like, kind of kegels for your butt, squeeze and contract your anus, mm-hmm. or pull in and push out your belly button, like through your spine, like, with your abdomen, just ab muscles. When you can create this kind of heat and flow, then that naturally stimulates. It creates stimulation down there. So couples, when they do this prior to lovemaking, they can achieve much greater satisfaction. Because not only is more energy flowing down there, but when you open up those, especially those two chakras, your first and second chakra, naturally it roots you, it grounds you. So the connection is stronger, the release is greater. Everything just is so much more amazing when you can do that.
I certainly agree, yes. Have you gotten your family into belly button healing?
Most of my family has a belly button tool. I have an uncle he has chronic bronchitis and what's that other thing? COPD. No, is it COPD? Yeah, I think he has COPD. Mm-hmm. And he was having trouble. He would have trouble breathing. Mm-hmm. To the point where he would have to go to the ER at least once a month. Mm-hmm. And since he's been doing just belly button healing, only in his belly button, because, when you aim up toward the head, 12 o'clock in your belly button, that mm-hmm. increases circulation to the lungs. Just by doing that, ever since he started doing his belly button healing, he has not once gone to the ER.
Wow.
We have another uncle who has severe diabetes, and I couldn't reach him, and so I had another cousin check up on him, and he said, "You better go check on your uncle. He's in bed. He's bedridden." So I go over there, and he tells me he'd fallen. He broke his cell phone when he fell, and I look at his legs, and his knees were the size of softballs, and his lower legs were black.
Wow.
And I was like, "Oh my God, Uncle!" Like, he was in a lot of pain. He really was limited, mobility. it was very painful for him to even just go to the restroom.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, okay, where's your belly button tool? You know, he hadn't been using it. I found it, still in a box, and sat down on the bed next to him, and I started just compressing his belly button. Now, when you're doing it on somebody, it can look really funny. It can look very suggestive or awkward if somebody else walks in and not understanding what you're doing.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there with this belly button tool in his belly button, and I'm just kind of, you know, pressing it. You can imagine what that looks like.
Yeah.
His friend comes over to bring some food, and he walks in. His friend doesn't know me.
Mm-hmm.
And all he sees is this younger girl on the bed, you know, doing this up and down motion. He can't really see what I'm doing. He just sees that I'm sitting, you know, right at the groin area, just doing this thing. And he's like, oh, sorry. You know, like, no, come in. And he walks in, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And he was watching us, and he was talking to us. And a few minutes later, he was like, oh, your knees. Look at your knees. Look at your legs. And the knees had gone down. The swelling had gone down greatly. But what was more amazing is initially his legs were so swollen because the blood had pooled and you know, really just stretched out the skin. So it was shiny. Mm-hmm. That's how, you know, so much energy was stuck there. And in those few minutes, I think I did it for maybe like 10 minutes. It was kind of long because it took a little while. But he was like, your color is coming back in your skin.
Oh.
And you could see, like, just parts of, you know, right in front of his ankle and a little bit up his shin, that the color started returning normal. So I continued doing it. And it took about 20 minutes. Mm-hmm. But after that, the whole leg, all his legs, the color had been restored, the swelling had gone down, and he was able to get up and walk around.
Wow.
So that was pretty amazing.
Yeah, wow. What do you think the future of belly button healing holds? Would you like it to be an international phenomenon?
Well, this belly button tool is already in many countries, and people are now awakening to just the power of the belly button, and you know, as well as our belly button tool, which really enhances the efforts and makes it just happen a lot faster as far as the energy flow. So that's really exciting. Mm-hmm. I would love to see it in every home. I think everybody should be doing this. We would have a lot more happier and balanced people if people just took the time to, you know, heal their belly buttons, heal their minds and their bodies through their belly button. I think we could help heal the planet. Anytime that we have energy flowing more efficiently and productively, it makes us feel happier, and then we can connect to others better. And then, you know, the more people we can connect with, the more people that heal, in general, raising the energy of the planet could lead to a lot of great things.
I totally agree with you. I also believe that people need to masturbate more as well.
I think that there's a lot of, so I practice the law of attraction, manifestation, things like that. Mm-hmm. And the thing that's about energy is as long as it's uplifting and not hurting anybody, it has to be something that is beneficial. You know, it's not something that if you cannot impose energy on anybody, but for yourself. Anytime that you experience anything visceral, uplifting, and positive, where you just feel that higher vibration, mm-hmm. naturally it's better for you, your manifestation powers increase. But yeah, I think that people who have that release, who can connect with themselves, because you have to know yourself well enough to know what can trigger you or what can, you know, relax you. But I agree. I think that more people who do this and you know, connect to themselves in general, if you have the right, you know, mind too. It has to be, you can't be angry doing it. If you can make it very pleasant and very enjoyable, you do raise your frequency. Anytime you can raise your frequency, just like through belly button healing, you're just a better person.
Mhm. Yeah, I totally agree with you on that. And you, by the way, you don't look like you're in your 50s.
Ah, thank you.
My
But when you
pleasure.
keep your energy flowing and you just feel more peace and happiness, naturally you don't carry wrinkles. Naturally you don't age as fast.
Mhm. Is that so? Is that your main secret to not aging?
I do a combination of things. We came up with this app called Change Your Energy or 1 Minute Change. And so every hour my phone rings and it tells me to do a 1 minute exercise.
Mhm.
So right now I have mine programmed to stress relief. So all the exercise that it reminds me to do every hour is something that's engaging to help relax stress or, relax the brain. So I think anytime that you can physically connect to yourself, the more you do it throughout the day, that also gets circulation going. I drink only alkaline water. Um, I do eat some meat, but I try to limit it to more organic meat.
Mhm.
I believe in, you absorb the energy of your food, so you eat whatever your food ate, right? So, if you have meats that are more organic, then usually they're treated more humanely.
Mhm.
So their energy is also, that you're putting into your body. You don't want to put in these stressed out, fearful animals that, just were under so much stress when they were alive. That's that energy that you're absorbing when you eat.
Mhm.
So I try to just eat better, more plant-based foods. And then I take specific supplements that help cut down on my oxidative stress levels. And I use sunscreen. And I do Bellybutton healing. That's my magic combination.
Wow.
Oh, and Qigong energy healing. I teach meditation. I teach Qigong energy accumulation. So meditating is also really good for the brain.
Mhm. Absolutely. Wow, Jen, you are an amazing lady, and I'm glad I got to talk to you today. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And you know what? Just if you had met me even 2.5 years ago, you would not recognize me.
Really?
Because 2.5 years ago, I was in chronic pain. I had a lot of anxiety.
Mhm.
I had a lot of stress that affected me, so I was carrying a lot of chronic pain. The chronic pain and inflammation. I was nauseated a lot, or felt nauseated a lot. And I just had overall, this was not healthy.
Mhm.
And just by making just minor changes, a lot has, opened up.
Amazing. Yeah, I have a lot of the same symptoms you have and stuff, and the way I deal with it is by performing as a comedian and an actor, and doing this podcast is my way of coping with it, and it works.
That's great for channeling. Anytime you can channel creativity, that's great. If you can incorporate more belly button massage, more movement, stretching, drinking more water, even better.
I certainly will do that. Can I add you as a friend on Facebook?
Absolutely, Tommy.
Oh, that's great. Um, so Saturday is National Bellybutton Day. I hope you enjoy it.
Thank you. We're going to be having our healthy living wellness day throughout body and brain in all these different states that we're in. So we're going to help be teaching people how to live longer and healthier.
That's beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much, Jen, and you have yourself a great day.
Thank you, Tommy. Have an amazing day. Aloha.
Aloha.
Well, there you have it. Jen Angeli. Ain't she a sweetheart? Thank you so much, Jen. That was a really great commentary on the belly button, and I encourage a lot of you out there to try more belly button stimulation. If you like this video, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, add me as a friend on Facebook, join my Tommy Kovac comedian page on Facebook, follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and all that fun stuff. Well, that's all the time we have this week on Splat from the Past. Until next time, this is Tommy Throwback Kovac saying, there's no shame in living in the past because the present sucks. Later, dudes.